We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and the oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend this island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. And most likely, we will also fight on either Inferno, Mirage, or Dust 2. We've got Sprout versus Ninja Pajamas coming up as our last best of 3 of the day. And my name is Trace Stunna Saranthus, your desk host. And I, for one, fired the fork up, boys.
Where are we, Trace?
We are on the island of United Kingdom.
Englanda.
Yes.
United Kingdom is made up of other parts.
Yeah, it's an island kind of thing, right? But anyway, we've got Sponge, the Spud, Birchill, and of course Maniac, the Brainiac over there. So guys,
that one should stick.
Yeah,
I tried that one when we were in
like
Belo
it.
Horizonte. It didn't stick.
Yeah,
it works fine for me.
I think it makes sense. Like it really
course.
does. It kind of works out
Because
quite
I'm a
well.
potato brain and he's got real brains.
Kind of look like a potato. Kind of got potato brains. Either way, potatoes aren't bad, Chad.
Kartoffel. That's how you say it in German.
Kartoffel.
Kartoffel.
Kartoffel and mayonnaise sounds about proper. Anyway, let's go ahead and start talking about this next matchup. We did just watch Nip have a pretty rough time there versus Optic, but now they're going to get a second chance. They're going to get a little bit of a redemption here versus the likes of Sprout. Now, if we start talking about either of these teams, is it going to benefit or is it going to hurt Nip from just having played?
I think they're going to be relatively dejected that they got blown out on 2 maps, right? That has to play into your mindset. I think knowing you had one map where you played well, but it was off individual clutches and stuff, it doesn't mean you're not feeling like you're playing a good game of Counter-Strike, right? You feel like you're playing some individual Counter-Strike where people are stepping up every now and again. So Sprout also got blown out of the water in the first game of the day, so both teams aren't necessarily going to be happy with the situation by any means, but it's just a mixed bag. Just a mixed bag. I think that's the best way to look at it right now. Both teams aren't going to be relatively happy, but it's about the mental outlook going forward, where NIP are going to be more so dejected, and I think Sprout are hungrier.
Do you think that there was a point in that last map that we just saw Nip play versus Optic where they're like, okay, this isn't working?
Yeah.
We're going to fight to the very end, but also we're going to be realistic that this is probably a done deal after the first half.
Oh, yeah.
And then we go into the second half, or we're just going to be playing the next match. There's just no way around this.
I'm pretty sure this is the scenario where the 3 CT players were banana and still got absolutely destroyed. That was, I think, 8-0 for Optic, and this is the point where you just look at your teammate and you think, okay, we did exactly everything we needed to do, and we still lost the round. So desperation times, of course. But I mean, it's part of being a professional player that you have disappointing loss, and you come back to the next game, and you're back to 0, full focus.
But Trace, you've got to hit as hard as life. It isn't about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. That's from Rocky Balboa.
Okay. Well, we don't have Rocky here today. We do have Chad, a close second, maybe not aesthetically speaking. But anyway, we're going to go down to the tournament floor. We do have Freya the Slaya standing by with someone from Sprout. I'm not sure exactly who it is, but I can't wait to hear what they have to say.
Thank you, guys. Yes, I've managed to grab NATO from Sprout. So you guys come off a loss yesterday against ENT. What happened there? What went wrong?
Well, I think I can't even really say. I think we had a decent game plan on Dust 2, and they didn't really play at all how we were expecting them to. On Nuke, they played how we expected them to, but I think we just really didn't stick so much to our own game plan. I don't know if it was a bit of jitters because of the Dust 2 match or whatever, but I mean, they were the better team. They deserved the win. Besides that, I mean, I can also point to the fact that we won only 1 pistol round and we lost the second round. So it's really hard to win those maps if you don't get a single pistol round.
So coming up against NIP now, is this the sort of thing you're going to be focusing on, just playing your own game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just in general, we will just take it more calm. I personally am a really slow starter as well, so the first match of the day is always kind of rough for me. I always am a bit nervous and stuff like that, but as soon as we play the first map, then it's not anymore a problem. So I feel much more confident and much more calm going into this match. So yeah, I'm more just confident. Yeah.
So even though we saw you guys have a loss, Dennis still performed exceptionally well, and even in your last game, he performed amazingly. What allows him to perform so well, and what is his role really within the team?
Oh, well, I mean, I thought about this, not for this interview specifically, but I mean, yesterday, especially when we played, it just hit me how we have 2 world-class players, right? You have 2 players, Dennis and Timo, who are just a level above, I would say, almost anybody at this event. And it's a pleasure, and it's, it's really just amazing to to have players like that on your team. Dennis, more specifically, is very aggressive. He's always had a lot of kills and always a lot of deaths, but recently he's been better at finding out when to stop, just keeping on the aggression, right? And I think it works really well for him. So just in general, he's started playing smarter, and he's worked a lot on his mental game, which was a bit of a hurdle for him previously in his career, I guess. So that's why we see the more consistent Dennis and why we see the better Dennis.
Because I saw earlier in the game, he was playing very aggressively. Sometimes it will pay off, sometimes not. Is this something you feel that he kind of needs to work on within himself?
No, I think he needs to stay exactly like that, because I'm the complete opposite, right? I think Dennis is the type of player where if there are a bit of nerves or if there's just anything really, he will become that bit more aggressive. And I'm the opposite. I will become that bit more passive. So in that way, we complement each other really well. And if the other guys just fill out their roles, then me and Dennis, it's just a really good fit, I think. So I wouldn't want to change anything with Dennis's playstyle, simply because his playstyle gives me so much more space to do my thing, and that's why we've been able to get the results that we have. So no, I would never change anything.
Yeah, because you guys actually won against the NIP last time you faced them. It was a best of one. This is a best of three. So does this give you more confidence coming into this game?
I think actually map pool wise, a lot of the teams here at the event are very rough to us, including ENCE. But I think NIP is one of the teams where I feel like we match up quite well. We play the same type of maps, and I think we have a decent chance actually. So I don't know if I'm more confident than the best of one, but I can at least say that I think we have a really good chance at this best of three, and if we can win this, we're one map off the not one map, but one match off the major, and yeah, that's a crazy thought.
Now, a little birdie's told me you have some very special lucky socks. Can we take a look?
Of course you can. They are here. It's my. I'll try to explain them.
Yep.
While I try to balance on one leg. Yeah. So this is my face, and I have the Snapchat dog filter with the ears, and I have the deal with it glasses, and then this very beautiful greenish color or bluish, however you see it. So that's my special something. A lot of professional athletes in other sports have these rituals in the mornings or something like that. Mine is just to put on these fantastic socks, and there's no way I can ever lose.
I love it, and hopefully those lucky socks will bring you a really great game. Thank you very much, Nato, for your time, and good luck in your game. We're going to head back over to the analyst desk.
Well then,
can I just point the elephant in the room out? He already lost wearing the socks, so
yeah,
he's
it's
wrong.
kind of like,
and I would never wear an article of clothing with my own face on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird like that. I mean, I see people wear like shirts with their dog on it, and then
I bought an ex-girlfriend a jumper with like my face like montaged all over it.
A jumper, like a jumpsuit?
No, like I guess you'd call it a pullover in your part of the world.
Like a hoodie?
Yeah, hoodie.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's the terminology, but yeah, we got the elephants out of the room and everything's good right now. But look, the fact of the matter was, one of the key points that they were touching on there was how Dennis is performing, and it came across that he's an aggressive player, and that's what we've seen. He's definitely been pushing, trying to make the plays, and that's something that this team, it looks like they need to get into rounds. It feels like he opens the round, then the rest of them in those post-plant situations or the mid-round are able to capitalize, and it has worked for them so far in the tournament. It's gotten this far for sure. It wasn't able to pan out in the same regard in their best of three earlier in the day. ENCE were just the better team, playing the fundamentals to the nth degree. But there's still hope for this Sprout roster in the tournament, because they are going up against an NIP who have looked very, very shaky.
So you say to the nth degree. It's not bad.
I like what you did there.
It's not bad at all. Let's just briefly take a look at these numbers, because I think even in this matchup, it's going to come down to like, which NIP are we about to see?
Well, I think when it comes to the maps, Sprout are in a pretty comfortable position, because their #1 veto, which is Overpass, also happens to be a map that NIP wants to play, and not really. They won? Did they win this? Yeah, they won Overpass.
Yeah.
So, having this Overpass out of the picture very fast, which should happen, kind of puts NIP in a position where they cannot play Overpass. They have to play a middle ground map. So I think this is a good sign for Sprout going into the veto.
I think also they like to pick Train historically and maps like that, which maybe not so good to do against the NIP, who we saw pick up a victory against Red Reserve on that map yesterday, if my memory serves me correctly. Lecker had that really cool flick with the AWP with the player flanking from Connector. You just have to think back to last night. Wasn't that long ago.
It really wasn't.
No, it wasn't at all. But look, I think this Sprout roster, in terms of what they can deliver and where they're trending, it's all positive signs. But right here, right now, they need to convert against an NIP who definitely want to stay in this one.
Well, you want to say NIP, and I also want to say NIP. Ninjas in Pajamas, or Ninjas in Pajamas, if you're joining us from the Swedish side. Probably didn't understand me the first time. When we talk about this Ninjas in Pajamas lineup, there's tons of storylines, there's tons of legacy within the remaining Forest and Get Right, but right now it just doesn't feel like it's come together like it's supposed to.
No, it hasn't. I mean, of course, Get Right had here and there some clutches that were very typical of him, but overall performance was not enough. And I also think Forest has been more quiet in this tournament than he has been even lately. I mean, Forest was one of the players, in my opinion, that still shined, even though NIP were in a tough position.
Yeah.
That's not the case at this tournament. On the good hand, yeah, I mean, on the other hand, you have Rez and Dennis, who have really been putting up the numbers. They are like the resistance for NIP at the moment. Lecro is a little bit up and down, and the problem for them is they don't really have the backbone, the structure, the baseline. You know, they rely heavily on individual performances, and it has been up and down.
That's a very good point, and I think that's been seen in this tournament with players bailing them out in forced by scenarios, which has been where NIP has been finding a lot of their success. This clip right here, Dennis winning a 1-on-3, I believe it was, scenario, or maybe it was a 1-on-2, but either way, it was a very pivotal round in that game against Red Reserve earlier in the tournament. We saw similar themes coming into it on Overpass previously. Even last night on Train, Get Right with a 1v3. So it's about the individuals pulling rounds that they shouldn't be winning, as opposed to having that base that Maniac was talking about to build off of. And you can see two clear themes throughout this tournament. The likes of Ents and the likes of Optic have the base, and then they have the stars on top of that. NIP is a team that's been around for such a long time. You'd expect them to have that base. Right now, they only have the individuals and experience as the glue. So they need to heal now as a team, Trace, or they will crumble as individuals.
Okay, that was pretty eloquently said, but also I kind of want to highlight the fact that players like Rez coming out and showing up, and in fact, even talking about Lecros and IGL at this point, like, what are some of the newer guys doing to kind of help salvage this?
Well, I think what really is a good sign or a good thing for Lecro is the fact that he's surrounded by also very experienced player, and as an in-game leader, obviously that helps when you don't have to explain everything from A to Z. You know, you can just call a tactic, and you know there is an implicit understanding in your ranks of how you should play the round. So I think that's the scenario for Lecro. Obviously, when you play with Get Right, Forest, Dennis, all these players, they have a very good understanding of what's supposed to happen. So in that regard, his job is a little bit less demanding, I would say. But other than that, that's a new role for him. That's his first tournament. Okay. Still a lot to show, obviously.
Only time will tell. And we went over the Dennis system yesterday, and perhaps we'll go over it again today. That's right, Dennis v. Dennis is our head-to-head. And of course, -1N on one side.
I think the reason that we're making this the head-to-head this time round, the first time it was just for memes, but this time it's because Sprout Dennis has been the best performer, or at least the flairiest player within that roster to really put them instead to close out rounds, and he's exciting to watch. And the exact same can be said for NIP Dennis. He's been pulling out some massive clutches, been having a lot of influence with pistols, which he's known for. So these guys are the X Factors, and surprisingly have the same name. You know, you can have whatever you want as a name nowadays, you know? There's like kids who get named after like different places. My mum was talking to my mum, she's a dance teacher, she's got a student whose name's Texas.
That's pretty cool. I knew of a chick named after Texas as well. It was,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it Debbie?
No, it was Alexis.
Alexis?
Yeah.
Named after Texas?
Yeah.
She said
that was her last name was Texas. But anyway, look, that's not what we're here talking about.
Oh, her last name was Texas.
Yeah,
we're talking first names.
Anyway, so moving forward away from that one, we can begin to kind of dissect this one. This is a best of 3 again, and I don't know that necessarily NIP can run out of gas, but we kind of highlighted, like, hey, could that affect them having just played and having such a performance in that pass map, or is this going to benefit Sprout from sitting back and watching it?
I think it's hard to say what to take from the fact that they just played, but I have a question or a statement or something I really want to say. At what point does experience come into play? This is a very high-stake game. If you lose this, you're out of the minor system. You're not going to make it to the major. This is supposedly where experience should shine, and NIP have a lot of experience on their ranks. I think Dennis, Get Right, Forest altogether. Such a big experience. Where does it come to play? Is it now?
It should be right now, right? This is the game. This is the do or die. They shouldn't be having the nerves in this scenario, and these are just the standard bans for both teams. I was going to float the idea that NIP could let Dust2 through. I don't think that Sprout would pick it as a punish. It's not a map which I would put too much stock in them being able to take that easily. And maybe they could have banned out Nuke, but Sprout have gone with the map they've continued to pick throughout this tournament. We've seen them pick up a win on it earlier, obviously dropping to Ents. It was their pick in the first game of the day. And look, going into Mirage there, that one could get a little bit spicy.
Somehow I was expecting a train pick here for an IP.
I guess Sprout, they don't mind train either, so maybe they were thinking we could catch them off, and our individuals who have been, I guess, the stars, you know, the likes of Dennis, the likes of Rez, they can really find a home on Mirage and they can reap a lot of havoc. But I guess the last map could comfortably fall into an Inferno. I think that will, yeah, Inferno or Cage. I think it'll be an Inferno.
Nip is going to be fine, I think, with Train or Inferno as the third map. I really don't know by which factor they could decide. Okay. Yeah, I think both maps would have been okay. Maybe they felt like this Inferno game against Sprout yesterday was troublesome.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It was such a close match, but they were the ones. It was the first half went in Sprout's favor, and then it felt like Sprout were going to run away with it, but they battled back and actually looked like the better team until we got to overtime. Once we got to overtime is when Sprout, with the full economy kind of mental reset, were able to close it out. Maybe they want to, after their loss just then on it, they're not too confident on that map. Train, a bit of an interesting one to finish things off.
An interesting one, absolutely. And I think this could actually go either way if we talk about the veterancy versus just the hunger and the sort of gas that might be left in the tank here within Sprout. I want to ask you guys before we jump into this matchup, who do we have?
Is it a quick one?
I'm going to give you roughly a sentence and a half.
A sentence and a half.
I don't even know how much time it's that.
Well, the longer we take just talking gibberish, the more we cut into this, and you just have to ask for one name. I'm going to go with Sprout. Off gets Junge.
Yeah, I'll follow him on that, Sprout.
Okay, and I think that's probably close to reality. Sprout might take this one. But either way, only time will tell, and it's not up to us to decide. It's not up to us to tell the story. It's up to Henry G. It's up to Sadicus to deliver this action to you one final time. Take it away, guys.
Yes, in many ways, we are the butler of Counter-Strike. We just bring you, every time you ring the bell, the service on a plate. That said, look, Sprout, both of them predicting, all three of them, if you include Stun and that, predicting that Sprout's going to take this. NIP going to bow out again in a major cycle?
NIP got this. I feel like, sure, Optic looks pretty unreal in some of those games, and we saw some resurgence on Overpass. We start on Nuke, and it's an NIP Classic, didn't look too good in it today, but I feel like they're still a stronger unit than Sprout. Sprout have had good teamwork, good chemistry, FACEIT has been fantastic for them. Dennis has had a great events, but I still feel like NIP have got this, for me at least. We'll see. There will be Julie's for Get Right and the Smoke. Bit of a crowd favorite for him as he gets in towards the huts. So it's going to be the upper rush here. Who gets the frags? Time will tell. Flashbangs absolutely everywhere. Sprout to kick things off here. Forest can't do anything from heaven just yet, but Lecro certainly can.
Certainly can. Lecro with the start for NIP, exactly what they need to get rolling. Still going 4-on-4, and he gets taken down by Dennis. But speaking of, Big D comes back around, and Dennis from NIP shuts down FACEIT. And Rez cut off Dennis from Sprout. We get to do this again. We did this yesterday as well.
We did. We absolutely did. Well, there we go. It will be NIP winning the round. A chaotic start there. The upper rush coming in from Sprout. So Get Right get dropped. Didn't get to show us how deadly those Julies can be. But there will be no plant for Sprout. I'm surprised at that, considering the kills and the trades they got. You thought they'd get a plant in. Speedy's gone for the Zeus again. Remember, he does this play, nades at the door, smokes in front of it, flashes through, and tries to get himself in the vent. But I think everyone knows it by now. If I know it, Forrest is going to be aware of it. He's waiting for the flash. You can see if it's turning away.
Here it comes. Flash didn't go all the way through. In fact, Speedy blinded himself. So good luck getting into vents. Forrest, he was ready for it. Still, he gets there. So fair play.
Indeed.
They're already in secret as well. Speedy holds now in return with that Zeus. You called it to a T. Rez is inside of the site. Cannot get to the vents anymore from that position. But he'll have to rely on intuition because they're coming from both sides down below. Gap of the smoke. Doesn't matter. Dennis backs him up by rotating in from ramp. Rez, a second shot to Percy. Back toward control room. He's on 15 HP. Wants to find FACEIT. Can't do it. Bomb dropped in transition toward the site. Cyclone can't get there to get it planted.
IP, good job so far. 4-on-2. Speedy, Glock, no armor. He's got that Zeus. That will be the round concluded. 4-on-1. Speedy can't really do much of this. He does find a CZ. Might be able to get this kill. That should be it though. It's a reload and down he goes. Good effort by Sprouts. They get a couple of kills, but no plant, unfortunately. Suggests it'll be the full eco going into round number 3 here. Glocks, maybe a couple of P250s. That'll be about it. As NIP distribute out the weaponry. See them changing and juggling guns around. Final best of 3 of the day. Tournament life on the line. You feel like it's going to impact NIP more. They haven't made a major in a while. Sprout were at the last one. See what they can do here. Nothing purchased, in fact. No P250s. Necro with his next shots. Don't think this will be too much of a challenge for NIP. Dennis confirms that. It will be one more kill for Lekro. There we have it. Get right to finish things off. As we'll find ourselves going into the next round. This is the first gun round, of course. No AWPs purchased just yet. 5 AKs for Sprouts. Lekro going to stay on the scout, but looks things. Got money for the M4, wants to try and save the money here. Forest could buy the weapon, going for the M4 instead. Last minute decision. It's a good start from NIP. I do consider them the favourites here, although I understand why the analysts might have their doubts. But this is do or die time. The first time NIP looking down the barrel of elimination.
Smoke wall, but a Molotov on the inside of it slows Dennis. Molotovs burn out faster than smoke dissipates. So he'll still be able to get by it. Forest is rotated down in accordance with that. The rest of Sprouts looking to spring through the door. Makes a bit of noise. Again, not a surprise that he's there, but out the door they go. Down the vents as well. No, not quite. Sacron's gone by. He's actually swung out to find Get Right Top Hut. He'll continue to clear the site, and upper looks to be theirs, except for the fact that they have to worry about Lekro still working in from heaven. Dennis down makes things a little bit easier, and Forrest will be Molotoved. He has the option to climb the ladder immediately. Surprisingly, Natasavix didn't sit to watch that, but Forrest thinks better of it, backs away, and Rez will get taken down in lobby, meaning this round is going to go the way of Sprout. It'll be 3-1.
Maybe. There is a chance of a comeback, but Dennis continues to find kills here. Remember, it's a bit of a bonus round for NIP, considering they kept the scouts here and an SMG as well. So they will have one more buy available to them, but nice start on the gun rounds for Sprout there. Focus on the upper bomb site, managing to find the picks where required. Dennis will bring out the AWP, and that was a key asset for them on overpass against Optic. Forrest will be down to just a Deagle. Rough last map for him. Didn't see much in the third on Inferno. You can see that a reasonable buy. 3 M4s, the AWP, 1 Deagle. Forrest certainly capable of finding kills with it. Percy trying to get towards the ramp fast, but does meet the smoke, and Flashbang has to hold up. Gonna continue though, so the Reds to find the initial kill. That's enough, really. Gonna throw the grenade. That connects nicely towards Cyclone, so he's done his job now. We've talked about Rez being a great ramp player, understands the fundamentals, and he knows that's all he can really do. He's got the information they're going towards lower. He's found the man advantage. That's his job, really, in a nutshell. Stay alive, find kills. Forrest with the Deagle, however, just see what he can do. More than he was worth, potentially, with just a pistol. 4 and 3. As Cyclone has been tagged up as well. Dennis will be dropped by Lekro. Lovely shot with the M4 there. And that should be round 4 versus 1. That's his Safix. He'll be hiding in towards the shadow position. Very vulnerable to utility. There is an incendiary. Dennis, though, doesn't need to mess around with any sort of that nonsense. He'll just be completely destroying NATO in the side of the head. And we'll find 4-1. Not so much of a devastating reset as it would be if they're on the CT side, with the bomb going down and a decent amount of players surviving the previous round. They still have a buy here. Sprout, though, can't continue their success. Nice opening kill from NIP. Forrest did his job towards lower, but Rez, I really do like the way he plays ramp. Just watch out for that. Not many teams can seem to take him down cleanly without losing a man in the process.
Molotov to the door. That'll burn, but not break. Smoke will extinguish. And they want to hold off Sprout from trying to run through. Natasafix still back toward T-spawn, so looking for some sort of interesting execution. Used to be possible to throw from their grenades that would drop down through skylights. Skylights have changed. We haven't seen them used as much lately, by the way. Just to note. I thought the change might welcome some more tactical approaches. Wall of smoke yet again outside.
Very common. Almost every team will run this strat.
Dennis is hoping someone's going to chase him. He holds up at the top of the stairs towards Secret. He's the one they send every single time. Other Dennis, Nip Dennis, backs off from vent, has to be quick. AWP, and they're already inside of the ramp room, missing a shot. They know exactly where he is. They'll try and overwhelm him, and will, because Percy pushes the smoke, and he had nowhere to go.
He knows that Dennis is relying on that to be the force field. Rez still denying the plan, though. This round isn't over. Get right, and Rez finding kill after kill. Very chaotic, but 3-on-1 now. Cyclone really wanted that bomb to go down. Might have had a fighting chance here. Still has time, but really no positional control of the situation. One kill to his name so far. Going to need 4 in total here. if he stands any chance. He knows there'll be a player towards ramp, but Lekro got his number 5-1. 3 players survive. That should be the eco now for Sprout. So, NIP, very good start, very promising beginning here on Nuke. At one point, they were considered the best team in the world on this map. It was a bit of a home map advantage from them every time they got it.
That was a great read by Percy, you're right. He knew the smoke was there strictly for self-preservation. From the point of view of Dennis, once he heard the op shot fire out as well, it's pretty obvious, but still, NIP pull it back 5-1. You know what, I'm a bit surprised by the predictions on the desk too. I do favor NIP in this game.
Yeah.
I think they get themselves into tomorrow. From there, their destiny is in their own hands. They're certainly capable of qualifying into one of the 2 spots for the Champions stage coming up in September for the Major. But again, it's entirely in their hands. They could just as easily come up shy based on some of the unfortunate events we've seen throughout even this weekend. Not to mention the history that continues to repeat itself.
No armor. No real weaponry yet. A PT-50 and a Deagle. Take a bit of damage, and now a lot at the start of the round. 2 kills come in for Dennis and Lekro. Smoke deployed, and that should be the round. It is a very CT-sided map. I'm not too worried for Sprout yet. I predict they'll probably get 4 or 5 rounds, maybe a bit more if they get some momentum, able to shut down the economy of NIP. But winning this round with 5 players up, they will be relatively well established. We'll see if they can do it here. They need to make sure they keep a clean sheet. Don't need to challenge any more than they have. They could just fall back here. Now they're risking a potential 1 deek, but more than happy to challenge, it seems. The Sapphics should be dropped at this point. There's the kill. So there's the 1 deek. Like I said, not a huge deal, but still avoidable, I guess. 6-1. Another buy available. No orb going in the hands of Natto, but he's definitely a hybrid. He doesn't rely on the AWP. More than capable of using the rifle as well. Top fraggers right now is Lekro on the NIP side. 10 kills, 2 deaths. Good to see him still on the in-game leader role. Struggled on the first day, I would say, but now getting it together and posting numbers we're expecting from him. The top is Sprout. It's going to be Dennis on 4 and 6. Same scoreline from Natto, so there we go.
Cyclone and Natto again back toward the spawn, looking to go for a similar approach of the long, deep smokes. Lekro identifying that they're going down has already called for the rotation at the stairwell of Dennis. Meanwhile, Rez pushing up from radio is going to catch off Cyclone.
That's the mixed aggression I love from him so much. He does manage to push through, get that first kill, and Dennis is aware of the prospect of players making a cross towards Secret. He's actually got himself in a great little spot. That's good for 1 kill, at least. As long as he gets traded out, that's fine, but he doesn't actually get any damage there. I thought he'd get much more than that.
That was a good shoulder peek switch.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Dennis, Sprout Dennis spots out the other Dennis, and then Percy slides in for the shot. They'll go back around as well. They're not going to commit fully onto Secret, but Lekro went out from the big garage and got in behind them. Rez still holds the stairs down below. Meanwhile, back at Secret, all is going well for NIP as Forrest drops Speedy, including the bomb. It does bring them still with 2 players left alive, but if they think they've fooled NIP, Get Right's got other ideas. They'll go for the planted upper. They'll get it down, but that's fine because Get Right immediately pounces. Now Sapphics is down. They'll surround Percy. He does hold the smoke, which means he gets Lekro, but that's all for timing of Rez to walk up.
Absolutely so, Matt. There it is. Even after getting the trade towards lower, NIP pushed him back towards the upper side. Get Right snuck himself in behind the side there and doesn't deny the plant, but does enough to get the kill. Guarantees that. And then at that point, Percy could do nothing about it. Bomb planted. We have got a force buy from Natto Sapphics at least. He'll spend $4,400. The rest of them, though, with a partial buy. We normally call the 1AK approach a tactical purchase. Speedy's got the Zeus again. Suggests he wants to try and get in the vents once more. He has successfully done it almost every single time. So fair play if he wanted to try it. Outside they go, but that's the Molotov used at the start, the incendiary, as they means they committed another smoke. And look at the damage being inflicted by Lekro. Dennis will help him out. So nice idea there. We saw G2 really bring that in for the first time, I would say, about a year ago, dropping that incendiary outside to block those smokes. And now, very simple procedure as Rez managed to gun down 3 in the lower bomb site. Speedy desperately looking for a plant now.
Yeah, it was a matter of predicting the bounce. Speedy gets the reload in as Lekro swings. Bomb goes down again, 8-1 in favor of NIP. Haven't had an early lead often in this event. The one game they did, interestingly, was against these guys, and they ended up losing that best of 1 and therefore had to play out to secure their playoff spot the long way.
There we have it. Sprout timeout. Not going too well for them so far. They have got money to buy, but remember, Natto Sapphics and that tactical purchase of the AK-47 leaves him at $3,400. So it's still fine. That's the risk you take when you go for that approach. Sometimes could be working out remarkably well. Sometimes falls flat like this, and he might be down to a Galil or an SMG or pistol here. Probably doesn't go for the AK Kevlar combo. Wants to make sure he has a few grenades here as the tactical timeout comes to an end. Allows their coach to get involved. No orbs on the CT side yet. NIP looking comfortable. Everyone hovering around 5k. He does go for the CZ, I can confirm. So, not a huge deal. CZ in the right situations can be very deadly, of course. Necro presumably got the AK indeed. Fantastic AK player, fantastic Deagle player. Can use the AWP as well. Get right using what I assume is attempt a little bit of a one-way, try to get to more on the left-hand side. It gives him a slight gap for anyone walking past it. Smokes towards outside now. No AWP, remember, so this probably would be their best point of approach.
Smokes outside. A wall again. It seems the default. That's a massive gap to work with, though, for Lekro, although he's flashed off, fires into it. It's Get Right instead to find Zikron first. Bomb down in lobby. He'll hold off toward the hut. Percy does overwhelm Lekro. Close angle versus the far one of Dennis, who, again, tries to get down to Secret. I presume it is indeed him. That default all too obvious at this point. But it is a default. I'm not saying it's obvious in terms of countering it. They know he's going to do it, but I mean, for us to call it, seems he's always going that direction. He's not going down the stairs this time, though. The default to get him outside has switched ever so slightly as he wants to climb up to go toward the AC. Rez gets out behind him. I think neither spot the... Oh, I take it back. I thought neither of them would spot the other. And Rez reads it just by the chance that someone got there. He takes a look, and sure enough, he was right. Percy pulls one back, but it's still going to be an IP with a massive lead. A 3-on-1 and Get Right to take down Natasafix. It's 9-1.
Looking very comfortable, aren't they? Nice play by Rez. I really do appreciate what he's doing for this squad. He hasn't really made an incorrect move yet. Everything's been spot on. And there we go. Should be another eco, or at least a partial buy. Maximum loss bonus in full effect for Sprouts. They purchased, okay, down to about $1,000 each. Maybe a little bit more on a couple of examples, but they got CZs, Kevlar and helmets, and smokes and flashbangs, so they can actually make a bit of a dent here. Dennis trying to spray again as they cross over, but times it a little bit incorrectly this time. As they make their way towards the main split, Lekro avoids the flashbangs, but not the second. They'll make their way in. This is actually looking quite dangerous for an IP. I don't think Get Right gets more than one. He actually drops the AK down on the bomb site floor. Grenade, flashbang being used towards upper. Bomb planted. Rifle hasn't been picked up, but it's available to them. Nice shot, though, by Lekro.
Rez sitting still with the M4 will swing. Oh, he swings to lobby. Wanted to flash himself back into contention, but the thought of doing so costs him his life dearly. As Natasafix is able to get him back without gun, defenseless he stood. Dennis does fall back to NIP's favor by getting the other Dennis. Speedy will hold off the bomb. Forrest, the last alive, tried to go for the defuse, tried to bait them out, couldn't do so. Second round on the board for Sprout.
NIP getting a taste of their own medicine there. CZs against them, little execution towards outside, good flashbangs towards garage primarily. Lekro was lined up to get 2 kills, but the flashbangs relentlessly thrown in towards the garage. Dennis to close things out with that CZ. Nice work. Spam there coming in. 9-2. That's going to boost the money significantly as Sprout. They're not out of this just yet. Might look like a scary scoreline. Win this round though. Now they're fully equipped with the AWP, the grenades. Everyone's got armor as well. Win this, NIP are broken. You could bring this back to 9-6, no problem. Round 12. Dennis, oh my god, how has he got away with that? He wants more as well. Natasafix might swallow the grenade. He doesn't quite, it touches him, takes him down to 23. What a play that was. Lekro confirming that NIP will not be getting reset just yet.
Percy sninging in. Lekro has no idea. Percy, my boy. That was some Percy butt cheeks if I've ever seen it. Nearly gave up a free kill. He's still the only one left alive. 1 versus 4. Dennis on 6 HP if you could find him, but good luck as Sprout looking to be reset. It's going to hurt them. NIP, they'll welcome this after, again, the series they just had. Back-to-back games. Sprout's been sitting around. You said you weren't sure if they were DMing or what, but you certainly would have been predicting that they were watching that last game.
Yes. I think we did a mixture of the both. Try and watch as much as you can. Maybe get the coach mainly focusing on that. The rest of them keep warmed up, and they'll get the information they need. Who's playing well, what kind of tendencies NIP are focusing on, who's using the AWP primarily, where they're putting all their manpower in the eco situations. The pistols have been a problem for a lot of teams. This is a force buy for Sprout. Now this could be indicative of where this game's going. If they can pull this one off, we might have a game on our hands. If they don't, they'll be 11-2 down with no cash again. It could be a very quick first map in this best of 3.
Forrest just working from Annex. Smoke down to hold him off. Range can't do anything. Speedy's got him instead with the AK. That tells Forrest they're outside, but he's not sure where. Smoke's still in place. He won't yet be able to move. Shot back. He does finally get the opportunity he's waiting for. And Sprout Dennis with the Deagle is a little bit timid, doesn't want to take the fight. 2 men down, they find themselves it again. Nip Dennis gets toward Secret. All he has to do is hold that stairwell, and job will be done in terms of holding off outside because Get Right's behind him this time. Thankfully, it works out. He's had trouble with that.
Yeah, the shots in the back, although that was a difficult one. It was awkward. He would still be gutted if that went against him. That would just like solidify the round. Rez avoids certain death there as well. Manages to capitalize upon Dennis's miss. So there we go. Big round for an IP. 11-2 up. Money broken for Sprouts. Best they can get is 3 rounds now. They have to take an EK away. If they force it, that really will be a gamble to try and get the 4 rounds on the board. NIP have plenty of money for the final round, whatever happens here. There we go. Round 14. Speedy's got the Zeus again. He does love it, but he hasn't got the smoke, the flashbangs, the armor, the blocks only. It's almost guaranteed that NIP win this round. I just can't see a world where the bomb even gets planted.
Rez this time overwhelmed though. Dennis from... Really?
What happened there?
Just killed Speedy. Dropped down, shot Speedy, took his gun. I don't understand that one. There was time enough to not shoot your teammate in the back on that. Even Nip's having a laugh about it. I'm sure Sprout are not. Rez that time got traded out. Watch this. Gets the kill. Drops. Did he accidentally shoot? Did he like hit his mouse?
He was obviously at real low HP, but still, like that's weird. It like unfortunately, like in this version, I say unfortunately because I think it should be a little bit more punished, perhaps. But I guess already killing your teammate is punishment enough. It used to be like $1,000 you lost. I think 1,500. Now it's just $300. So it's not too detrimental.
Dennis is a double agent, Henry. That's all.
Yeah, true.
That's what it is.
In more ways than one. Yeah, it's happening. Dennis on NIP to open things up. Bear with us. We'll try and make it as clear as possible which Dennis we're talking about. It's a rare thing that happens, but Sprout Dennis is no more. Great stuff so far. NIP looking for 13-2, looking like they'll get it. 5-on-3. Almost no utility left for the terrorists here. Percy just hoping that he can catch Lecro in transition. But he'll actually take a nade to the face. Great placement. Pushes him off. Dennis, you feel like he's going to hit this shot. Quite. He'll fall back. That's the smart play. Doesn't want to overcommit to this.
Oh, he nearly did. You're right. Smart play. Wanted to get the nade out, and in doing so, nearly left himself open. Good shot. No way to respond for the second one. He did more than he was worth in that corner. Rez, though, trades it, and that is perfect. We leaves another 1 versus 4.
It's not looking like the same sort of Sprout, is it? They actually looked pretty handy on Nuke before. They won't even get to show us how good their CT side can be. Percy, 4 versus 1, final round, 35 seconds. No saving here. Has to try and go for the plant, but NIP have the bomb on the floor. Get one. But now, where does he go from here? That's his last bit of utility. 1 bullet hit from any of these players will take him down. Bomb doesn't really matter anymore. There's no money to be gathered. He plants it to the right of the silo to avoid that grenade. This works out for him now. I will be very, very impressed because this looks too overwhelming though. And there we go, 13-2. Believe it or not, this scoreline is recoverable. It can happen. Win the pistol. NIP haven't had the perfect tournament, but looking a lot more stable now. Lecro tops the board, 17 kills. Rez next with 16, like I said, pretty much perfect half from him. Dennis with 14 at the top of Sprout will be Percy, 9 kills, 14 deaths. A player we don't talk about too often.
No, not at all.
He's one of the, I guess, one of the unknown quantities. He hasn't done enough of this tournament for us to really appreciate what he can do. I assume he's a new name in the scene. And nice to see him at the top there. Give him a little shout out, see if he can develop.
I think he may have come from the previous Copenhagen Wolves lineup.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Good shot from Forrest. Takes down Sprout Dennis. German Dennis. Get right. Swedish Get Right. Will pop back out and find 2. Speedy and Natasafix. Well done to Get Right on the Glock. Percy still trying to hold with the CZ. Won't have much available to him, and certainly not armor with that weapon, as we can tell. Lecro, meanwhile, goes down below, as too does the bomb. Cyclone's going to be the first to arrive and try and shut it down, but he's got problems because Percy's locked out. He's going to go toward the ramp. Still, Forrest is up there waiting for that arrival, and as you see on the obituary, he has indeed killed Percy. May he rest in peace. As Cyclone falls, Rez gets him. He had 14 HP, that's all. And speaking of 14, that's how many rounds Nip have already, Henry.
They definitely do. 14-2. Has to be the force by now, and a must-win round from Sprout. That pistol was pretty much must-win, but Get Right looking solid today. Forrest as well, P250 hits the headshot. We're going to see the full investment. No save for AWPs here. Might even get a chance to show us if that buy is even possible. HEs, flashbangs, CZs, Deagles. Grenade outside. Don't think they're going to be connecting too hard though. They do 1 point of damage toward Dennis. That is it. So not very beneficial at all. That was their main plan. Try and get a nade kill at the very start. Maybe steal a rifle, but unfortunately this is looking like NIP will find that point already. Never know though. Every time I say that, it seems to fall apart. Especially in this tournament, no one can really hold together an anti-force by round. Here comes the first kill. Dennis will get it. Yeah,
Dennis
fall apart.
Dennis trades off Dennis though.
Yeah. I don't know why these rounds are so elusive. It's so weird in this tournament. Every single time, every team in this tournament seems to be losing the Deagles.
Yep.
And
always when it's close to the end as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just when you think like this one's over, they seem to drop like flies at the Deagles. I keep talking about it. It's a change in mentality, I think. I'm not really sure. It's a real weird thing.
Just to note as well, 17 the top for both Rez and Lecro. Bottom side of that is 12 for Get Right. So everyone on NIP has contributed quite evenly. It's only a 5-kill spread. On the other side, no one has reached double digits. Percy could try to do so this round, perhaps. Or the next. There could still be one more. He's got the P250, and he's done it. He's gotten Get Right down. Forrest will plant the bomb. Lecro goes forward with the MP7 to try his utmost. He'll switch to the AK, but to hold off the fence, that's his ambition, and that is what will he succeed with. Percy gets one, backs away, fair enough, gets the P250. He's going to keep it, not pick up the AK. Catches out Forrest, and he's got time.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, Percy.
Well, there we go. Well done to Sprout. They keep the dream alive here. Unbelievable scenes, really. They just need to slow things down. I think that's been the problem with this event. The teams just seem to be operating very quickly on the anti-force buy rounds and can turn into a bit of a nightmare very quickly. They're just going to buy straight away, though. Lecro's going to drop an AK for Dennis. Good shots by Speedy. Can't do much about that, but still. Percy wins it out. Continues to be the top fragger. Forrest sits and waits. So they're trying to force by now to win the game as quickly as possible. I'm not sure it'll work out for them. We'll have a look. Dennis waiting for any sort of weapon. I don't think he's got anything. He's got Glock. Flashbangs, now a Deagle. Last minute purchase.
Rez. He'll hold outside and wait with his teammates. He's got 2 AK-47s to work with. Dennis, he's got an M4. And he's at the main entrance, smoked off, back inside of it. He'll preserve himself to hold Squeaky instead, as Natasafix can try and cover off the roundabout. The corner, out of the outer position. From Twinkie down to the AC. I don't miss the catwalk outside, by the way.
You don't miss it?
No, I don't think so. That's perfect for Dennis because he's got just enough to see through. Even when they drop down off of the top of the hut, they won't be able to see him. And Get Right and Forrest, though, do manage to make amends. And Forrest with the AK finding 2. They've got another gun to work with. Remember, that's Rez, and 2 available if they can get toward them for both Get Right and Dennis. Get Right gets the scout. Did Speedy just make a step? Either way, he's spotted now.
4-on-2. Forest with the AK. Dennis with the unbelievable shot with the Desert Eagle. This is everything for an IP right now. Surely they don't give this one up. 3-on-1. You don't need the peak res, but it's the shot. And there we go. 15-3 and a harsh reset as well. They can only afford CZ armor. That is it. I don't think they can get a single rifle. It's going to take 12 rounds in a row to stay in the game. HE's smokes. Couple of flashbang. We'll see what happens here with the flash outside. Dennis has been in full control today, Matt. He really has looked quite special at times. Haven't had the best results, but he continues to be an excellent Counter-Strike player, showing his experience and skill as each round continues. This looks like it's going to be the GG moment. 5-on-4. One round will do it for an IP. Quite a quick showing here on Nuke, and unfortunately for Sprout, they won't even get to show as a gun round on their CT
No,
sides,
they won't.
which is why we talk about starting CT on a map like Nuke, because the advantage is so large, you might be able to shut down the fact they can even play that side.
We've said that. They'll probably win this and then show us a number of gun rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, 13
They've
of them.
spotted Dennis, down he'll go. I actually hate the CZ more than anything in the world, I think. It's my least favorite.
That's all right. Rez at least gets one back, but he's traded out. Now it's 3-on-3. Thankfully, Forrest finds one, but he was tagged. It's trades evenly. Get right, holding the fort. Bomb to be planted.
There we go. Good attempt. Speedy. A bit more than a CZ this time. He'll have the M4. Let's see if he can finish things off here. Well, let's see if NIP can finish things off. He's just going to try and keep them in the game. He's got a lot of work to do, not enough HP to really do it. No grenades, no helmet. And that should be it, ladies and gentlemen. Much better showing here from NIP. This is what we expect to see. These are the kind of scorelines in this level of competition. These superstars should be devouring. And that's much better. Promising signs.
Yes, that is very promising. 1-0 NIP in the series, and a series that is an elimination match. So Sprout could be knocked out here and now. Remember, they beat NIP to go into the upper side of the playoffs yesterday from that group. It would be last lap NIP in doing so. Move them on to tomorrow. A convincing win. 16-3, more what we would expect.
Absolutely. I'm going to give a shout out especially to Lecro. I felt like in the first couple of days of this tournament he was struggling with the responsibility to be the in-game leader and finding his usual form in terms of big numbers, huge frags, and he certainly proved me wrong with this particular map. 20 kills for him, top frags, finds everything for his team and finds it a 16-3. We'll take a break and be back for number 2. Doing all very well.